One. This episode of Smokin Sounds is sponsored by Tuber Cigar Storage, premium cigar storage built for cigar smokers who want style, protection, and freshness all in one setup. Go give them a follow on Instagram at Tuber Storage or visit tuberstorage.com.
Oh my God.
And by our good friends over at 4 John's Apparel for all your premium cigar t-shirts and hats. Follow 4 John's Apparel on Instagram at Dirty Birch Media, maker of SmokingSoundsPod.com. It's Smokin Sounds, baby! The second best podcast for cigar and pipe enthusiasts and those looking to embark on a journey where smoke intertwines with sound. What's up, everybody? I'm Sean, one of the hosts of Smokin Sounds, and joining me is a man who needs no introduction. Weighing in at 88 kilos, it's Justino Tostino, the Pipe Yoda.
Yeah! Dude, I have been on a Penta fix ever since last Raw and all that. So now I think I'm.
I hope I didn't screw up your luchador.
Oh no, you're fine. Either that or my new name is Justinta. But anyway, hey everybody, glad you could join us again. We got a very special guest with us today,
right.
And guys, again, this. Ultimately, we're not a wrestling podcast, but everybody we have on wants to talk about wrestling. I don't know what it is. Us included.
That's right.
Listen to our last episode with JP.
Yeah, from Boveda.
Boveda.
Again, thank them. A big shout out to JP from Boveda and from Boveda and Mike and Nate and everybody over there, man. Justin, they really helped that episode just skyrocket for us, man. And we could not be more thankful and appreciative of their support. And yeah, if you haven't heard that episode, definitely check it out because it was a fun one for sure.
Oh yeah, and it was just such a good time. We met them at the PCA and we started talking with them, and then we just kept the conversation going on the podcast there. So definitely check that out.
We are live at the Royale in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sam, one of our good friends, is over there at the bar with a gentleman we met as we walked in who has already asked us for podcast advice. And so it's a good thing we've got our special guest with us who actually knows how to do a good podcast.
Semper Fi.
That's right.
So he's a once a Marine, always a Marine. But anyway,
right.
So that is for later on. And so Sean, why don't you...
Well, all the way from the land of Brother Big Al, howling with Big Al, Memphis, Tennessee, you guys know him best from the Spinning the Wheel podcast. Mr. Matt, how are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. I missed the button. Look, I was trying to bring you in with a little music, but for some reason it's not playing.
Well, we have the Careless Whisper at the front. So
well, that's good. Yeah. So yeah. If people are wondering why the Careless Whisper, it's simply because introduce yourself and your podcast. How about that? We'll go that way.
I love you people would know him from this. Like, no one knows me from that podcast, but that's okay. I do feel like I do want to say one thing. We are here in Tulsa. Can I curse?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
We're here in Tulsa. I am originally from Wichita, Kansas, born and bred. First 40 years of my life there. So I have to say, with all the passion I can possibly muster, fuck Doug Lawrence. Those of you who went through the minor league hockey wars of the 90s understand. We hated Dougie Lawrence. And I heard he's selling cars here somewhere. I wish him the best, but...
Still.
I took my daughter to an Oilers game, and one of the guys I work with, Scott, he's from St. Louis, so he's a big Blues fan and stuff, and I told him, I said, the Tulsa Oilers' claim to fame is Dougie Lawrence. I said, that's like the biggest star to ever. I think he actually ran for like Congress or a state seat or something at one time. I may be wrong on that, but yeah, we know who Dougie Lawrence is. So
okay, so before we get started, go ahead and demonstrate the tuber. And we can get our cigars going.
So we've got tuber here. This one is the aluminum. You got. So are the cigars in here?
Yes.
Okay. So we've got.
So do it right on the mic.
All right. So I did. It just didn't.
Oh.
It's when I'll do it again when I put the lid on. I'm handing you a cigar, Justin.
All right.
I hope you got a cutter and a lighter.
I do.
Because we're all sitting here with cigars. All right. Let's see if it does it. Here's. Well, you kind of heard it a little bit. So anyway, that's the tuber aluminum. Gordo storage. If you don't have one, definitely pick one up. They're brilliant. And if you find yourself in a dark alley in Memphis, you can also use it as a weapon too, Matt. So just saying.
Right. So tell everybody what we're smoking, Sean.
So we have from. All right, you know how we get messed up with all these names now.
Oh, here we go.
From Espinosa Cigars, it's the Espinosa 601 Black. But wait, there's more. Justin, tell them what's special about this cigar.
Now, what is special about this one? And big shout out to Paige Turner. So we got the cigar infuser. So what it is you have these like 5 glass tubes you put the cigar in. Now at the bottom of the tubes you have these little bowls that hook into the tubes, and it's all held in a wooden stand. The bowls you can put like whiskey or rum or you know whatever you like in it.
Yeah.
So you let the cigars sit in there. You take them out of the cellophane, let them sit in there for about 5 or 6 days. And the other end of the tube has a little cork, so you can just cork it on the top, after you get the cigar in there. The only drawback to it is that so far the biggest one we could find, the tubes only accept up to a 50 ring gauge. So all your 52s, 54s, Gordos, blah, 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 nothing doing. But anyway, you can literally, we took it out and I tried a Charter Oak. You guys remember we love Charter Oak, especially for our some of our beginner smokers. And don't worry, Matt, we're going to talk about the cigar we got you talked into in a minute.
Oh, good.
So you smell, normally you don't smell the outside of the cigar, but if you do this one, you could smell the coffee liqueur that we had. We're using.
Oh man, and you can taste it right off.
The aroma should be right there.
Yeah. I stole your lighter, Justin.
Okay.
I see you over there looking for it. Here, I'm gonna hand it back to you real quick. Yeah.
So anyway, Paige Turner saw this on Amazon, and she said, "Well, we've got to do it. We've got to do it. There's no choice in the matter." So anyway, we're experimenting with these. We did the 601 Black,
and we have to thank our good friend Cigars with Angel for sending us these Espinosa 601 Blacks, because these were part of the package that he sent us. Him and the 3 amigos up there, Cigars with Kenny, Cigars with Kevin, and Cigars with Angel. But yeah, you can already tell it right off when you opened up the tuber. You could smell it. I don't know if you can get that.
Oh, it's got a very distinct aroma just from, you don't usually get that. If you're smoking cigars with somebody, it tends to smell like a cigar. But that has a very distinct, that coffee forward kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
very much
excellent.
That.
Yeah,
That's
again,
very much that.
yeah. Again, lean a little more into it.
Oh, I got it.
I love Justin's trying to tell you what to do. But so Matt, while you're lighting that up, I will give a big shout out to our good friends from Children of the 80s, Jim and Lindsay. That's how I was introduced to Matt. Me and my wife Jess, Dirty Birch Media, we have had the pleasure of being on a couple of episodes of Children of the 80s with Matt. And so how long have you been doing Spinning the Wheel?
So, first of all, I want to say it's weird to see you with a shirt on.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Damn, I forgot all about that.
I know we were going tarps off on this. But,
yeah. See, this is kind of a classy joint, so I try to keep my shirt on in this one.
I'll keep the pants on for the same reason.
Yeah.
I started doing my podcast about 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
And just kind of had this idea, like all of us do, that there's things that we are fans of or hobbies of ours or things that we love, and how can we take it to the next level, and let's do a podcast about it. So that's how it came about, my love for the artist George Michael. As I say all the time, I always preface this, I stole my podcast idea completely, 100% from a podcast about the band Van Halen.
Okay.
Called And the Podcast Will Rock.
That's a great podcast, too.
Great podcast. Love those guys. Corey Morissette up there in Canada was really helpful. It was going to be some advice and some stuff, and then I stole his idea. But it was just something I wanted to do, and I thought it would be kind of cool. And like you said, Jim and Lindsay and the Children of the 80s podcast, and Dave and Rob from Totally 80s,
yes,
and the guys from Minnesota and the pop culture yearbook. It's the podcast community has been so cool to become part of.
Yeah.
It's really the coolest part of the whole experience.
And I think you've even done some with Jason from Surely You Can't Be Serious podcast, who's also up in Norman, Oklahoma.
He's in Norman, that's right. So all the more reasons of Oklahoma to be, spiteful, but that's okay. But no, we did the podcast a couple of years ago with the brackets that they did, and then did one this year with them, and just Had him on my podcast. Great time. It's really, like I said, it's so cool to hear these shows and to hear people who have such similar experiences to you when sometimes you feel like you're the only kid who may have done A, B, or C.
Yeah.
And then you're hearing someone else tell your story.
Yep.
You're like, I did that and I did that. Like, holy, like I was listening to your show last week and JP from Boveda, he was talking and it was like I was talking.
Yeah.
It was like all the things I wanted to say. And so I was just like, is this guy my long lost cousin?
That's right. That's when we met him at PCA. It was like we had been friends forever.
Yeah.
And I think you get that a lot with these podcasts because you listen to these people and you feel like I was fortunate enough when we were in Atlanta. Jim came down to the hotel, and so we got to meet Jim. Lindsay had some things to do. We had gotten in a little bit later than we had expected the night before, but Jim was so kind to come down and fight that Atlanta traffic just to hang out with us for a little bit, and it was just a highlight of the trip for me because as great of people, and me and my wife, and I'm sure you do too, we just love them to death, and we just send all of our thoughts and prayers to Jim. They're going through some things, and we're here for you if you need us, buddy. But anyway, so
Absolutely.
Spinning the Wheel podcast. So with being about George Michael, so who's kind of the closest person you've had on that was kind of the closest to George Michael?
I would say the closest to George Michael in terms of, there's people in his inner circle I've had, which is like close in the literal sense, but close in the sense of like an artist like that. I had Richard Marx a couple of years
Oh, that's
ago.
right.
Wow.
You did. Yeah. And that's a great story. Tell that story real quick.
Oh, it was it was me just begging on Instagram like I always do, which is gonna work. We'll see. I'm talking to Debbie Gibson's people right now.
Uh-oh.
I know, it's like Debbie Gibson.
Wow.
Get it.
Justin was hoping you were going to say Tiffany because it's always Tiffy
It's
time.
always Tiffy time now. Come on.
Tiffy time is better than Tiffany. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, no.
But I just pester on Instagram and
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
It's okay. So I was out having a few beverages one night and having a good time, and I come back home and I'd had far too many, and I look at my Instagram and it's a message from Richard Marx.
Oh, that's
saying,
awesome.
I like your persistence. If you can do next Wednesday, I'm in. And I was like, I'm in.
Yeah, I'll be
Wow.
there.
He was just the nicest dude. I mean, this dude who sold 30 million records and 17 number ones and Grammy Awards and all this, just the nicest guy in the world.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was great. My least downloaded show.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
George Michael fans want George Michael, and that's it. They're very myopic. So
All right. So
they don't want Corey Feldman.
Right. So I want to hit the pause button right here because Sean and so Matt, now you're not really a cigar smoker necessarily.
not necessarily.
So-
I
so-
enjoy a cigar now and again, but I can't.
So I want you to, any impression you have, just if all you say it's smooth or whatever, and then I want Sean to tell everybody what you're smoking.
Okay. So far, very smooth. It's a unique blend. It's not overpowering,
Yep.
but it's certainly got that cigar kick that you want.
Yep.
I don't have all the adjectives that you might want.
Oh, that's
No,
fine. That's fine.
hey, you're talking our language
Yeah.
here, Matt.
Yeah. It's just, when you're looking for a cigar to just sit back and have a good time with, I guess it's a great one.
Would you recommend this? Like if you were buying a bunch of these, say for your friends to sit out back, would this be a good one?
Absolutely. It's got a good flavor without that whole like licking concrete taste that you get in your mouth sometimes after the fact.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
So-
Okay.
And so that's what. So when I went through the Cigar Bro humidor, I immediately reached for because Law was so kind from Camacho to send us some cigars. So what I gave Matt was the Connecticut from Camacho. So Camacho is kind of one of those under the radar cigars. That's a very smooth Connecticut, but it's got a little spice in it. Not like spice that's going to put you on your keister, but it's just got, like you said, just got a little bit of a kick in it where you know you're smoking a good cigar. Obviously, Camacho is under the Davidoff umbrella. It's great Nicaraguan tobacco, and the price point on them is, for a Davidoff Connecticut, you're probably going to pay $40 or $50 a cigar. The Camacho, you're going to pay $10 for.
Okay.
So,
there you go.
that's the Toro Camacho Connecticut, and we appreciate Law for sending us that stuff from Camacho. He will be our guest in July, so he is the brand ambassador for Camacho and Davidoff and Zeno and all that.
So remind me, I bought those ones last year that we talked about.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to butcher it. I apologize. It's not the Fallen Soldier. It was the
Silent Hero.
Silent Hero.
Yes.
Thank you. Those were amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I had those in the backyard with a buddy of mine named Jeff. Shout out to Jeff. Just had a great night with those, and just a great smoking cigar.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed those.
Yeah, so Bryce had been on our show a couple of times. He is the owner of Silent Hero Cigars. They've got a few things kind of going on over there. We're hoping that the cigar is able to kind of remain on the market. Tulsa Hill Cigars still carries them. They still sell them like crazy. And you're right. I mean, he's one that if a lot of people say, I'm not a fan of a Candela cigar, and then they would smoke his Candela, and they're like, oh, I like Candela cigars.
Yeah, all of a sudden, right.
That was a huge blessing for us to meet Bryce and get introduced to Silent Hero Cigars. And so, but Justin, I'm going to tell you, so I've smoked this cigar before, the 601. And I actually think a lot of the shops here in Tulsa, I know that the tobacco pouch have just recently got I think it's the 601 Blues from Espinosa.
Wow. Okay.
See, we also have a brand called Espanola. So all these gets kind of tricky, Matt.
So all that does is confuse him.
Right.
I
have a hard enough time as it is pronouncing this shit. But so
I watched you struggle with aluminum. So
well, it's because I want to call it aluminum, but it's ALUMN, aluminum. So they've got it like. They're trying to mess with me too.
Yeah, they're messing with you too.
I thought everyone over at Tuber was my friends, but no, they're trying to mess with me too. But when Angel sent these, I smoked one, and I thought, whoa, because it's a lighter shade cigar. So if you're new to cigars, you may instantly think, oh, this is like a good morning cigar, which if you're an astute cigar smoker, it might be for you. So, but you can taste the coffee in this, like. I don't know if you're getting that too, Justin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it is tremendously different in a good way.
And I think the aroma, it's actually, I think it's much more in the smoke aroma. So if you got the cigar infuser kit I was talking about, you might experiment, say, with some vanilla liqueurs or cherry or blackberry, whatever. It might actually help your cigar aroma for the people around you. You still get a quality cigar. But then, because I think the coffee comes much more in the aroma. Because again, I smoked the first one that I pulled out of the infuser was the Foundation Charter Oak, and it really changed it. It really, because so I've never had actually a 601 Black until this coffee infused one, but I can definitely tell where it has absolutely made a huge difference.
So I have to ask.
Okay.
Explain, and for someone who's new to the cigar game, besides just get out of the golf cart and firing one up with his buddies, explain the infuser thing to me, because I do find myself to be a fan of all things infused these days.
Okay. I'll let the Pipe Yoda handle that. He's going to be able to explain that a little bit better than I. And then after that, Justin, I've got some breaking wrestling kind of news. Has to do with one of our sponsors, but I want to break that here in a second. But go ahead. Tell Matt about Captain Infusion.
Well, so there's two different ways to do it. You can do it the way we did it was just you have the cigars in the glass tubes with the liquor at the bottom, and then you just let them sit there. And so alcohol evaporates rather quickly. And so in a few days, that alcohol enters the cigar leaf, and infuses it. Okay. Now, other people like Acid from Drew Estate, or they will infuse theirs. They use another process, a much more scientific and manufacturing process. But you sort of get those flavors on top of good quality tobacco, and again, it affects the taste and it affects the aroma.
Yeah.
Now I tell you what I do, Matt. I just got some more Outcast cigars. Now that's made with actual pipe tobacco. So if you're kind of more in the flavored, if you think, well, I might like more of a flavored, not just cigar. We can talk about that. But that's what this is. It's just it evaporates to the cigar and infuses it.
And I know that and I speak as a sort of a non-smoker,
right?
Besides cigars. It can be, if you don't get the cigar that hits the spot that you want to hit it almost comes into that whole thing where it's almost like smoking a cigarette, and I don't want to smoke a cigarette, so it kind of turns you off. But the thought of something that kind of would ease you into that a little bit it's a great idea. Oh yeah,
and again, there's a number of options like Deadwood or Acid, both by Drew Estate, Outcast by Miami Cigars. there's a number of options where they have kind of these flavors in there that that can really, again, kind of walk you into it, without blowing you over like big Maduro or whatever, all that. So, all right, Sean, what you got?
Well, Justin, I'm going to stand up real quick because Fiona has walked over, and so I'm going to raise the mic stand up a little bit here so that we can.
Miss Fiona.
Yeah, we wanted her to come over and talk to us and tell us a little bit about what's kind of coming up and what's going on over here at the El Royale.
See, guys, we are live. I mean, this is not rehearsed and scripted. So he's doing the mic stand as we speak. Are we ready for her?
So Fiona, I'll just let you step up here to this mic and just kind of tell everybody what events you guys got coming up and what they can expect here at the Royale.
Yeah, so we have a few coming up in June. June 25th is going to be one. It's actually in collaboration with Fogan Bates and Macanudo. So they're doing a giveaway of a giant stand-up humidor, and that thing is massive.
Wow.
If you buy 10 Macanudo cigars, it can be here or next door at Fogan Bates. You get a free entry and then 3 free cigars. If you do 20 cigars, you get 3 entries, 6 cigars, a lighter and cutter, and that runs from now until June 25th.
Wow.
And then June 25th, they're having a little get-together from 2 to 6 p.m. to announce the giveaway. There's going to be free food and drink, so that'll be a lot of fun. Our rep from Macanudo will be there kind of passing out the swag and talking to everybody about it. And then Saturday, June 27th at 2 p.m., we're doing something for the ladies. One of our guests here, his mom does these awesome floral arrangements, and so it's Blooms and Bubbles, and it's hosted by It's a Flower Party. So you can find them on Facebook. And it's DIY floral arrangements. We're going to have a mimosa bar. It's going to be a lot of fun. July 2nd, my bad, at 6:30 is our ladies' night that we host every month. It's a ladies' night luau, and it's sponsored by Neutral Vodka Seltzers that we carry at the Royale. So they're going to be passing out some swag, doing giveaways. We're going to have a little neutral bar, tiki drinks, and live music by Michelle Warren.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Yeah, and then coming up in July, we don't have dates for them yet, but we're going to have some classic car kind of meet, get together, and then a mojito and a cigar pairing. So a lot of fun things coming up. Very summery.
Man. So Matt, you're going to have to make it back around, man.
Come back around. I picked the wrong week to come to Tulsa.
I tell you what. So Miss Fiona, I'm from Oklahoma. What's a mojito?
So a mojito is a classic. It's Dominican and Cuban, but it goes great with cigars. It's a very classic pairing if you go to the Dominican Republic or Cuba, and it's rum. Typically fresh lime juice, some kind of sugar. We do our raw sugar. So we do fresh lime juice, raw sugar, and then mint. And we are actually growing different types of mint that we're going to be using in those mojitos. So we have orange mint, pineapple mint, regular mojito mint, spearmint. We're going all out for it.
Now, do you have any idea what a cigar that might pair with?
I'm not sure. I know last year we actually had a Cuban cigar that we paired with it. That was incredible. So James usually pulls out something pretty spectacular for those.
Okay, excellent. So James is going to, if a Oklahoman like me doesn't know what to pair with it, James will hook me up.
Yes.
He's going to know. But okay, because see, I didn't even know what a mojito was. Did you, Matt?
I do.
Did you? Okay. See, I was the only one at this table. That's all right. That's all right.
Here's a bit of an irony thing. I host this George Michael podcast, and I've only seen him in concert one time. It was in 2008 in Dallas, and it was the only time in my life I ever had mojitos.
Oh wow!
I don't know why I decided to sit in that cafe and just order mojitos, and I had several of them, and never had them again. They're great. Don't get me wrong. Never had them again, but that was the one night, just in July of 2008.
Wow. So you have anything else for us, Miss Fiona?
That's it for now, but we're always coming up with new events and lots of fun things on the horizon. So if you follow us on Facebook at the Royale Tulsa, that's where we post all of our upcoming events.
So that's Royale Tulsa.
The Royale.
The Royale Tulsa. Okay. So
we also have a Facebook group, and it's called, what is it called?
Book Burn Tulsa.
Burn Book Tulsa Cigar Chapter on Facebook. So if you join that group, it's all of Tulsa cigar smokers, and we kind of post different things we're smoking and different events around town.
Okay.
Just little get-togethers like that.
Excellent.
I can't tell you. I live outside of Memphis. I cannot tell you how much, like, you would have to peel me out of a place like this. I love it. It's kind of like storefront kind of thing, but as I walk in, the lady's great. The guy at the bar is great. This is fantastic.
The cigar community in Tulsa is definitely unmatched.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Red clay. Can't beat it.
So just for people like the Dram Amateur and other people, so what's the is there anything new like in the spirits arena you want to tell us about?
Recently, I've been really, really loving the Frank August bourbons. We have a Frank August. It's called the Case Study 7.
Okay.
And that is brand new. They do, I think, one release a year, if I'm not mistaken. But it's aged in rum cask, and it's delicious.
Wow. Okay.
I actually found a bottle and bought one for myself. I'm obsessed with it.
Wow. Okay. So be sure and come into the Royale and ask for a little bit of that there, especially with your good cigar, and you'll be set. Even if you are from Memphis, you can still come in and get a Jack August. Is that what you said?
Frank August.
Frank August. And one of them. Yeah, it was his brother who works there. But even if you're from Memphis, you can still come in and get a Frank August and a good cigar.
Yeah, we'll let you in.
Already here and drinking, so I hope you have a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Hey, thank you, Fiona. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to get this mic back down here so
Okay.
I can talk again.
We'll see.
So I'm trying to be like a professional podcast since we have spinning the wheel here. I'm trying to be professional where I'm not making all the noise and stuff. But
it's funny. I texted my buddies a picture of the cigar, and he texted me. He goes, "Is that a Roadcaster behind the cigar?" And I said, "I think it is. I don't know. I don't use them."
Yeah, no, it's similar. So when me and Justin started out, we used what we call it's a Zoom P4. It was this little bitty thing. We still have it, and so when we actually started to get a little traction, we decided, well, we need to upgrade the equipment a little bit. So we stepped up to the Zoom P8. Just because I was already kind of familiar with all of the inner workings of Zoom, and it just works every time. And so it's one half dozen one another. It just depends on which brand you prefer. So, so you guys know
our breaking news.
Yeah, that's
right.
Listen, y'all reminded me.
Can you turn my headphones
down?
Yeah, down
okay,
a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
I'm curious with this whole Matt thing. Is it Matt Cardona? Did he get back to you?
No, I wish he did. So,
I wish.
But no, so our friends over at 4 John's Apparel that do our T-shirts and stuff, right? So Johnny, the son, he did a Rough Rider, which was a fundraiser for Team Foster, and where this event was held was at the 2300 Arena in Philly, which used to be the home of ECW. Woo!
There you go.
So we always find some way to work wrestling into this podcast.
All right. So Matt, I understand you're a wrestling fan. Is that right?
I am a lifelong diehard wrestling fan. I know more about wrestling than I know about my own children. Which is unfortunate to say.
Okay.
I dragged them along for the ride too. My younger one is into it more than my older one, but they both wrestled in high school and in college. So wrestling's in our blood in the house. So.
Heck yeah.
Wow. So
who is your favorite all-time, or do you want to do your favorite all-time, or do you want to do your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?
So I always ask, okay, so is Mount Rushmore your personal four,
yes,
or is it like the industry personal four?
It can be yours.
It can be either, but I always look at it as my top four.
Okay. So for my personal four, it's probably Flair. It's got to be Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right. Shawn Michaels, because I was obsessed with Shawn Michaels when I was a kid. I was actually a monster for all the reasons you can imagine. Triple H fan.
Yeah.
And then my fourth, God, it's tough. It depends on when you ask me. But my fourth would probably be Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's old school.
That is old school. See, because my number one's always Stone Cold. I always put Hulk Hogan on there because he's what got me really into wrestling. There's not tag teams on there, so I can't put the Rock and Roll Express. And I would put Ric Flair and The Undertaker. I think those are my four.
Agreed.
But Shawn Michaels is a good one too.
Can't go wrong.
Especially if you're JP, the smoke break kid. I hope he still likes that nickname we gave him.
You can't go. And the thing is like I grew up watching, like, Harley race even when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And hearing the stories about Harley race and I was a big NWA kid, so I saw Hulk Hogan, but I didn't particularly care for Hulk Hogan. All right, so I had when I was a kid, we had in the 80s especially, you could watch wrestling from all over the place. You could watch UWF from Mid-South.
Yeah.
You could watch WWE. You could watch NWA. You could watch Georgia Championship Wrestling. You could watch it. We had a satellite dish, so I could watch all that stuff.
Oh, wow. There you go.
And I just binged out every weekend. So I realized really quickly that to me, Hulk Hogan was the corny one out of all the wrestling.
Yeah.
Now I was a huge Ricky Steamboat mark. I love Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. But I just gravitated more to that NWA style. Arn Anderson was left-handed. I was left-handed. He was the only person who was left-handed, so he was my guy.
Oh yeah.
So it was a big part of my life as a kid. It's still a big part now. I took my son to WrestleMania a couple years ago. I took him 4 years ago.
Oh wow.
I like to say I've been to 2 WrestleManias. I was there when Stone Cold came back against Kevin Owens.
Ooh.
And I was there when Cody beat Roman Reigns.
Oh man.
Wow. There
Those
you
are
go.
a couple of good ones. Yeah, we have.
Wow, man.
A gentleman, Michael Herklock, that owns Ferio Tego Cigars. He's an awesome dude, man. We got to meet him at PCA, but he's like Mr. Dapper, 3-piece suit. He's the Rolex wearing.
That's right.
Gold. He reminded me at PCA. He's not he's the gold ring wearing. Having a hard time holding those Ferio Tego cigars down, but every time he posts something on Instagram, I always put a Ric Flair meme, right? So he posted one the other day. It was him and 3 other guys, and so I put a 4 Horsemen meme on there, and he loves it. So I had to check with him at PCA and make sure that I wasn't getting on his nerves with him. But yeah.
Now hold on. So
All right.
So I had my Rushmore is different from everybody else's, just because again how they influenced me. So my first guy would be Sting.
Okay, blonde hair Sting or Crow Sting?
Crow Sting.
Okay.
For sure, because when he came out, especially during Nitro and all that, oh my gosh, that was awesome. I would also, if you know who Bruiser Brody is.
I know who Bruiser Brody is.
Man, I'll tell you what.
I guess I'm going to have to look up Bruiser Brody.
Yeah, and the old
Wild man.
Yeah,
Wild man.
It was crazy, and the other one is Van Damme from ECW.
Okay.
Because I loved ECW. I just loved what they were about and how they did things, and that kind of thing. So was that 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So fourth would probably be actually, let's see. Fourth would probably I like Cody Rhodes, and not just because he's the champion babyface, but I like that he kind of carries on that Dusty Rhodes tradition and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when he does interviews, I can hear shades of Dusty when he does his interviews and stuff. So I just love that, and so that's my Mount Rushmore.
Well, now Cody, if you're listening, and I know that you are, I'm waiting for you to drop I'm the grandson of a plumber line, right? Like we need a, son of a plumber.
That's right.
He should be the grandson of a plumber, right? If his granddad was the plumber.
That's right.
Do I got that right, Pipe Yoda?
Yeah.
You was looking at me like I was wrong, so I had to.
Oh no!
I always have to check myself with the Pipe Yoda.
So
he's the all-knowing Matt.
Okay, so Matt, in the modern era, so I'm absolutely I'm in love with NXT.
Okay.
I just think they are just fantastic. Because they're kind of old schoolish,
Very much so.
And not as many fireworks and all that. So do you keep up with the new stuff?
I keep up with NXT to some extent. I can't claim to do it as much as I'd like to, but I know from the way that they sort of build their stars and what they do, I like the approach. I actually watched my very first episode of LFG last night.
Oh wow,
that was interesting. It was up late in a hotel, and I was like, okay, I'll watch this. It was interesting. But I like what they're creating because they give these guys time to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing that you learn as a wrestling fan, you talk about Cody Rhodes. One of the things that I love is that when you hear Cody Rhodes talk, like he loves the business. He loves every facet of it. He'd talk about it 24 hours a day if you let him. And there's a lot of people nowadays in the business who maybe don't feel that way about it, and that's okay. There's a place for them too.
Right.
Brock Lesnar was not an eat, sleep, and drink wrestling guy. He was
Well, that's because he was a UFC fighter before, right?
he was an amateur wrestler. He was an NCAA championship wrestler, and he was a guy who was taught. And I learned this from my sons doing amateur wrestling. There's definitely a difference between amateur and pro. Amateurs aren't the biggest fans of the pros, and pros
aren't
don't know from the amateurs. But Brock is a freak, and we as wrestling fans expect wrestlers to be as obsessed with as we are.
Yeah.
And they're not. It's a job in some cases. Now some people are, and I really like how Cody Rhodes approaches it from a business standpoint, approaches it from a standpoint of what it means to him, to his family, to be able to create. I love that stuff because he's genuinely into all the phases of it.
Yeah.
And he understands what it means. And I respect the hell out of that because you can just imagine those car rides with those guys, that with him and Matt Cardona and those guys like that. It was probably the most amazing car rides in the world talking about the business. Because the thing you respect about Cody is he went out and did it on his own.
Yeah.
You know, and love that because he had the balls to go for it and then actually do it. It's one of those things you talk about, like somebody has the balls to go off on their own and try it, and that's great.
Right.
But
Yeah.
he actually made it happen. And so that's what's really interesting about what him is. So I love Cody. I think he has a great sense for the next generation of what it means. I will say, I listened to your episode last week. Unreal is 100% a work.
Oh, see,
Yeah!
Justin, there you go.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
Unreal is absolutely
Because
true.
nowhere do they mention TKO.
No.
So guess what? There's another layer that they don't even talk about. So
Paul Heyman, you've been called out, brother.
yeah.
Because we as wrestling fans hate being worked, but we love being worked.
Yes. Yes.
That's the
yes.
thing.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what's and it becomes it permeates everything in your life where you're like, it's a work. And someone's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's a work. But you want it to be, you want to be right about it, like the Seth Rollins injury, right?
Right.
Everybody
Yeah.
was convinced he was really, really hurt. He was really, really hurt. I never, ever was. Right? Now, I suppose if he really was, I'd be wrong.
Right.
But I believe everything that you see on wrestling is over.
Right. Except for now, I always feel like if they tell me Seth is hurt, I always feel like it's a work.
Because it probably is.
That's when if he actually is hurt, that's when the work works because they worked you so many times before. You know?
Well,
I wasn't sure Braun Breaker was going to be hurt before WrestleMania. I was like, no, there's no way. Braun
What did you see Braun the other night on Raw?
looks a little paler. I'll tell you.
He was limping around and stuff, but then he admitted later that was actually fake and all that. Although many people in the wrestling news have said that they caught him flirting with Liv Morgan.
Uh-oh.
So,
Wouldn't you?
well,
Listen, you better watch out for Dirty Dom. He's going to get you, Braun Breaker.
now I tell you what. Now, and she is actually injured, but if I had a weakness there, it would be Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah.
Although I love Lola Vice as well.
Stephanie Vaquer, what's her name? Oh my gosh, Raquel? Is that her name?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Raquel.
She's that big, tall drink of water.
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer, like you said, even Nikki Bella. Look, I'm old enough to. I know Nikki Bella's like 41, but I'm with it because I'm 49. So.
There you go. Hey.
Hey.
Listen, and tonight on Raw, I think Sol Ruca is putting her belt up against. It's not.
Lyra Valkyria.
That's who it is. Yep.
Well, because
I thought it was Bailey, but you're right. It's the other one.
Lyra because, and also I've actually been off social media today because Raw is taking place in Paris, I think, or somewhere in France, and so it came on like at 1 this afternoon, and we were going to have to come here. I wasn't going to be able to finish it, so I'm going to watch it tonight at my normal time, Monday night at 7, and. Watch the replay. So I've been having to stay off social media.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get like Masters of the Universe spoilers off social media. And Justin,
spoilers from 2 hours ago.
Yeah, and Justin's like, I'm off social media today. You're not going to ruin Raw for me.
Okay, so I want to come back to Spinning the Wheel podcast.
Let's do it.
So tell everybody out there why the obsession with George Michael. You just dig his music, just dig what his vibe, or
Yeah,
what?
I'm kind of like I'm a walking dichotomy in a lot of ways. I'm a kid from Kansas. I love some George Michael. I did a podcast about him, obviously. I'm a metalhead. I love metal.
Yeah.
The music underneath it, I'm loving that, right?
Hey, I'm glad you brought up the music. I didn't mean to cut you off, but this is Covered in Smoke. This is one of the Pipe Yoda's playlists that he put together.
I will post it on our Facebook page so you guys can have access to the
It's a
playlist.
good list. I'm hearing it.
Yeah. Is this the one that's Songs You Know by Artists You May Not Know?
Yeah, songs you know by artists you don't.
So,
And I love covers. I enjoy a cover, right?
Oh, so you'll love this playlist. So I'll have it up, and you can download it on if you have Apple Music.
When a cover is just straight cover, that's great.
Right.
I like a cover when it completely flips it around and does something different.
Yeah.
And I might not even like it, but I appreciate the effort. So I love covers. I'm a metalhead. I'm a wrestling fan. I watch my Kansas City Royals baseball games every night.
we got another Royal fan in the house, Justin.
Hey, dude, I'm all about the KC Royals, and I'm all about it.
There you go.
So
I'm obsessed with the Royals. I watch, me and my sons, we text about it constantly. It's a lot of frustration. It's a lot of anger.
Yeah.
Hey.
Have you ever been to the K?
Oh, many times. I've been to the K 1,000 times. I went to the World Series when they lost. I was there in Game 7.
Oh, wow.
I've seen them twice this year. Out of town, I saw them in Atlanta, and I saw them in St. Louis. They lost both games.
Oh, wow.
So it's not been my best year for the Royals.
We might as well be talking about the Cubs.
They win sometimes.
Yeah, they actually win sometimes. So that's different. That's different.
So the Spin the Wheel podcast, like I said, it was. I've been listening to the podcast for 15 years at that point. I listened to Mark Maron. I listened to all the podcasts and enjoyed them all in different ways and things like that. And like I said, I heard this podcast and the podcast Will Rock about Van Halen, and I remember being amused because Corey knows his stuff. Corey's an old school metalhead, and his co-host, who's out of Nashville actually, I didn't feel like he knew as much Van Halen as somebody who was hosting a Van Halen podcast should know.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But I realize now, and with all due respect to Mark, that's kind of the genius of it a little bit, because he was hearing some of that stuff for the first time. And so they would play a Van Halen song like Push Comes to Shove, right?
Uh-huh.
Which is off of Fair Warning. I love that song. And Corey knows it. It's kind of like almost like a disco song. Mark has no idea, but he's got a fresh take on it. And so that became really cool to me. I thought, I literally was in a hotel room and I woke up and I thought, I wonder if there's a podcast that's like about George Michael's music. And then I kind of laughed because I was like, of course not, because I would know it, right?
Right.
And there wasn't. So I just thought, well, can I create this thing? And I did. And it was, like I said, originally it was just a complete rip-off of what they do. Spin a randomizer, pick a song. George Michael just so happens to have a song called Spinning the Wheel, so it kind of fit. And for the first year or year and a half, that's what we did. And we'd pick a song and somebody would come on and we'd talk about it, or I had the author of his biography on. I had
Oh, wow.
I had Richard Marx on. I had Paul Gambaccini, who's a famous DJ in London. I've had Steve Sidwell, who was a musical producer of Broadway shows and some of George Michael's stuff, and photographers. I've had lots of people on my podcast, which has been really, really amazing for me. I've had one of my favorite guests, Michael Anderson, who created Kids Bop.
Oh, awesome.
That's such a good guy. But I really realized that about a year and a half ago that the magic of that show is the communication and the stories and the bonding with people.
Yeah.
People would send me notes from all over the planet, and it would blow my mind that they would have a story similar to mine, or they would express an appreciation for what I had said, or things like that, moments that I touched them.
Yeah.
Or one story that kind of really crystallized it was this gentleman Peter down in Australia who wrote me, and he wrote me a note on the weekend that my father passed away, and he hadn't passed away yet, so no one knew this obviously, and he just said, hey, I wanted to reach out. Your show means the world. I'd only been doing my show 6 months. Your show means the world to me. I wanted to share with you a story. Me and my best friend grew up obsessed with Wham. We loved it. We dressed up. We danced, this and that. We had a great time. He passed away in the tsunami in 2004.
Man.
I miss him every day. I just want you to know your show has kind of helped to heal that a little bit.
Oh, excellent.
How cool is that?
Oh, that is fabulous.
And I read that, and I'm just like, Niagara Falls. I was in the gym, and just tears running down my face. And I went outside and I recorded a voice memo for him for 10 minutes because I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And he's just the greatest guy. And to have people from literally I would never have a chance to meet, from places I've never been to or probably ever will get to.
Yeah.
To have them reach out to me and share these things with me has just been it's been the best experience in the world. It's the most rewarding thing in the world, that community that you've been.
Yeah, and that's the big thing about all this. It doesn't matter if you're a George Michael podcast or a couple of knuckleheads out of Tulsa trying to do a cigar podcast. It's a community, and we have been. I mean, I could go down the list of not just the cigar and pipe guys, but, like you said, Dave and Rob from Totally 80s and 90s Recall, Jim and Lindsay, Justin J-Pop from Pop Culture Reflections. I mean, all these people that have just, I got to do one with, Are You Gonna Eat That Crust with Greg Hugh. I think that's going to come out tonight. Me and him and Justin did one where we talk music, and I'm just like, it's so cool that there's this community, and it's everyone wants to talk with each other, and you get those messages. That's what I told Justin, like one of our first couple episodes, we got a message from a guy that he basically told us he was on the verge of suicide. He didn't feel like he had anybody in his life, and he just happened to stumble across one of our first episodes. And our first couple episodes weren't the greatest, right?
Right.
I mean, they're still
None of
not.
us were,
but he said, I felt like I had friends again.
Yeah.
And I told Justin, and I think we agreed, if nothing else ever happens with this silly little podcast,
that's enough.
That's
right
enough,
there.
right?
Right.
I mean, because it really it's funny because it didn't dawn on me until we were at PCA. Because people always ask us, how did you guys go from talking about cigars to wrestling, right? Like, how does that happen?
Right.
And at PCA, we were actually talking to the Bovida boys.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me that our podcast has organically grown around what our friendship has been for 30 plus years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it was broadcasting school, right? There's music. Justin took me to the tobacco pouch, had my first cigar with him. There's the cigars. And then we would go to Digipac's house and watch Monday Night Wars. So I mean, it's organically turned into, I guess, what it was meant to be, right? And somehow people keep listening, and I'm sure you do the same thing. You look at the analytics and you're like, holy shit, people from Singapore listen.
Yeah.
Or Australia, like Kate from Down Under, and all these people from Australia. I mean, we've got this gentleman out of California, Emmanuel. He's the Crafty Beer Traveler on Instagram. And Donnie, Today Cigars. These guys, I mean, they're constantly in communication with me, and they're just so nice. And it's like, I'd love to have a chance to meet all these people. Like when you said you were going to be down, I was like, dude, this is just, it's meant to be, right? Because we've talked about this, right? And I've said, next time you're in Tulsa on business, we got to get together. So thank you for setting aside a little time to come hang out with us.
It's just that thing where you just never know, and we all do it. We all judge people when you meet them,
right?
And I walked in, I was still in my clothes from the office, and here I am in my little Ric Flair gear, I'm in dress clothes and all that kind of stuff, and what you don't realize is that we all have the same, not all of us are the same thing, but we all have similar things that can bind us together, but you don't know because we all walk past people every day,
right?
And don't realize, hey, that guy was at WrestleMania the night that I was. Hey, that guy is, singing Wham in his car, whatever it may be, and none of us are just one thing. And so it's so cool when you meet these people and you be able to have these conversations. Like I said, with Jim and Lindsay, they were doing a podcast about something, and Jim was talking about baseball memories in St. Louis, where he's from. And it was like this. It was like he was telling my story.
Yep.
Listen to Griffin, those guys in the Pop Culture Yearbook.
Yeah.
It's like they're talking about going to two-a-days in the morning in August and in the fall of '93, and I'm like, that was what I was doing in the fall of '93.
Yeah.
And so it's just so cool when you get to meet those people and you get to spend time with them, even if it's virtual or whatever.
Right.
But we had a blast last year.
Oh yeah, we did. Didn't we do the Pop Culture Yearbook with Brad and Giff? And
were
you on that
the one we were on?
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
And then I did one with them where they did us like this game, and it's just, I mean, again, they're up in Minnesota as well. They're up there by Bovida, so I have to find out if those. But you said something a second ago, and you're 100% right. We pass by people every day that we probably have a million things in common, but we don't know it.
Right.
And that is the beauty of a cigar lounge.
Yeah.
There is no ego when you walk in the door. I was at Fogan Bates earlier, and there was a gentleman in there, an older gentleman. We're just talking, and he's one of the top attorneys in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And there's probably doctors or but we don't wear our occupations on our chest, right?
Well, I kind of.
Well, you kind of do, but But
I changed out of one shirt to the other shirt.
But that's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty of the podcast thing, right? It's just like you have these people on that were connected to George Michael in some sort of, 7 degrees of separation type of way. And it's I mean, Richard Marx is a huge guest to have on.
Yeah.
I still think that's kind of funny you say it was your least downloaded episode. I remember you saying that on one of the other episodes we were on with somebody. But yeah, no, it makes the world feel like a much smaller place.
And for me, it's like, I've had people that knew George Michael on. I've had people that worked with George Michael on my show, and when they say things to me, and I got like just a gush of emotion. One of his assistants or something to that effect one time said something to the effect of, "Hey, just so you know, he would have." And I was like, "Really?" And she was like, "Yeah, he would have really loved you." And I was and it was like, that meant the world to me, because that's somebody who knew this person and people I talked to who worked with him. This is somebody I watched from the time I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And obviously is an important figure in my life in that moment. And there's lots of people like that when you get to cross paths with people who were there, or even, like I said, even Richard Marx, or if this Debbie Gibson thing, we'll see what happens next week. But if that happens, I watched Debbie Gibson videos when I was 10 years old in my garage.
Mm-hmm.
And this is somebody who I can have a conversation with, and that just from pestering people online and social media. So it's amazing the way it just kind of brings people together, because we are all, there's a lot more commonality than there is differences between all of us.
Yeah, yeah. And
All right, so I want to go around the room real quick.
Okay.
Normally we go around and talk about what you're smoking. Now, did you finish yours right, Matt?
no, he's still working on it.
Okay. So all right. So I want to go around. So talk about your cigar and what you're getting and whatever. But also I want to get everybody. There's 3 of us. Everybody. Your number one favorite George Michael song. Sean, we'll start. Sean, we'll start with you.
Well, so this Espinosa 601, the infusion flavor is kind of starting to disappear a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's so the kind of boldness of the cigar is kind of kicking up a little bit, which I like. Again, it's not a dark wrappered cigar, as you can kind of see. I'm kind of holding it up to the camera there, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad we went with these because it's kind of like Paige Turner will be so happy that they actually turned out really well.
Oh yeah.
I guess my favorite George Michael song is going to have to be Faith. Because I think everybody remembers where they were when that video came on MTV for the first time, right? Because Madonna had kind of started exploring a little bit more of the sexuality of her music, Papa Don't Preach and Like a Virgin and all that. But George Michael was kind of that first male sex symbol that I remember as a kid. David Lee Roth was dancing around up there without his shirt on and stuff. But yeah. But
I'm just
but
gigolo.
that and who didn't want a damn dangly cross earring after seeing the Faith video? I mean, no one. I mean, like you couldn't find a pair of Levi's tight enough for and a dangly cross earring. So, and then of course at Christmas time, who doesn't listen to Wham? The Christmas song.
Last Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. Last Christmas.
Yeah. All right. So Matt, talk about whatever you're getting from that cigar and your favorite George Michael song.
I've got the Camacho, Connecticut here, infamous.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at him, aficionado already.
Hey, he just took our job.
I know he did.
I can do some marketing. So this is a great cigar. I find that when you're having a cigar, again, it's that if you're not a regular cigar smoker, and I say more than I'm probably once maybe twice a month.
Okay.
Maybe less. Occasional, a social occasion kind of thing. But I do enjoy a good cigar, and this one does not have that like coat your tongue feeling. It's just
good,
mild. It's got a good it's a good smokability.
Yeah.
Without kind of when you inhale, kind of giving you one of those things. It's a great cigar.
And it doesn't. What I found with the Camachos too is, and I've heard this that a lot of Dominican cigars are better than the Nicaraguans, and this is again what your palate, but. What I found with the Camachos is it doesn't make your mouth feel heavy. Like your palate isn't heavy with the cigar, like taste. It leaves you kind of a cleaner palate where you're able to kind of pick up, and I've got the palate of a basic white boy. I've said that 1,000 times, but I feel like with the Camachos, especially like their Triple Maduro or their Corojo, you get kind of more flavors out of their cigars because it leaves your palate a little cleaner, if that makes sense.
I
Okay.
agree with that completely.
And now your favorite George Michael tune.
Uh-oh. I feel like this is
Only one.
I always say it depends on. My answer to that question depends on when you ask me. If you ask me today at 4 o'clock, it might be one answer. You ask me tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning, it might be a different answer. Right?
Gotcha.
I think probably for me personally, and it may not be a song you guys know, but it's a song called "Jesus to a Child." It's probably my favorite. It's very somber. It's very slow. It's very hard to listen to in a lot of ways, but it's very emotional and I'm one of those people who, when I'm in a good mood, I make sure everybody in the bar is in a good mood. We're all drinking. I'm paying. We're
all right.
Hey,
yeah, let's go, boys. So that's the thing. When I'm down and I'm feeling something, I'm gonna take it to the absolute nth degree, to the biggest depression hole I could put myself into, which makes no sense whatsoever. But that's what I do.
Well, it's a catharsis. You know, you kind of go through it all, and then at the end you're like,
yeah.
you know, and okay, excellent. So
so what about you, Pipe Yoda?
well, so I'll talk about the 601 Black first. Yeah, you're right. The coffee essence has kind of went away, and the boldness has come through. It's great on the retrohale. You know, doesn't burn your nose as you know.
Is that what made you sneeze just a second ago?
Well, yeah. But it's worth it. Hey, no pain, no gain. You know. But yeah, I'm coming down to the nub of this thing and just really enjoying it. So my favorite is one where he kind of branched out and did something different. So my favorite George Michael song is "Kissing a Fool." He kind of does that jazz and swing kind of thing.
Great song.
You know, and he really, and I felt like in that song, a lot of his songs, you know, like the pop stuff, you know, the real pop stuff, I always felt like he sort of, he wasn't able to show his true talent. Now, in Kissing a Fool, he was able to do a range and, you know, different octaves and stuff, and I felt like he was able to really show what he could do vocally.
Yeah.
You know.
And at a young age, I mean, if you look at that album's recorded in 1987. He's 24 years old.
Wow.
24 years old. I couldn't get out of bed the right way.
I know, man.
He's recording an amazing musical, just not of its time, but not necessarily out of its time. It was a great song.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. Excellent. So,
and I think George Michael's one of those artists that MTV just completely catapulted into a whole new atmosphere, right? Like the music video, it did that for so many people. But I think George Michael...
he knew how to use it, too.
Yeah.
And then the story famously with him is that he kind of revolted against the way it was being used against him, and it is what it is. So, you know, I'm a fan. Like I said, it's something I just got into when I was a kid, and I was always the only one. I mean, if you're an 8-year-old in Wichita, Kansas, not a whole lot of Wham fans.
Right, yeah.
But it was just something I gravitated toward it. And like I said, I love all kind of stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm a diehard Van Halen fan. I'm a Metallica guy. I'm a Alice in Chains guy. You name it, I love it. But this was the one that I thought that I could, you know, speak with some gravitas on, some opinion, based on some fact and knowing my stuff. So I can do the same thing on wrestling. So it's okay.
So we've mentioned Van Halen numerous times here. So I've got to ask the question. Is it Van Halen for you, or is it Van Hagar, or does it matter?
Oh, it very much matters.
Okay.
Very much matters. I always say, because my answer is Sammy Hagar.
Okay.
Sammy Hagar.
Me too. I love the Red Rocker.
I do, and I'll tell you, if I was, you know, when they broke up with Dave, I was turning 9 that summer.
Yeah.
I really wasn't steeped in a whole lot of Van Halen lore at that point in my life. I knew Panama and Jump and all that kind of stuff. If I had been 16 and been through the Dave years and the Everybody Wants Some and all that, I'd have been heartbroken, and fuck Sammy Hagar. I get it. But for me personally, I'm a Sammy guy. I love Sammy. I got to meet him a couple of years ago in Memphis. Just the nicest guy in the world. I was really, really drunk, so that was that. Met Michael Anthony too. He's about that tall. But I'm a Sammy guy.
Yeah. And but what a bass player is Mike.
Mike is great.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say he's underrated, but I mean, I would almost equate it to his name just escaped, but the bass player for the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I mean, there's not many bass players that have had to back.
Mitch Mitchell? That was the drummer.
That was the drummer, yeah.
But it was his brother. But there's not many bassists that have had to back one of the greatest guitar players of all time.
Yeah.
Right? And Michael Anthony held that thing together. Well, and Alex too. I mean, Alex was a hell of a drummer, but that's why I like what Wolfie's doing with Mammoth and all that, is because
he's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Because he's not out there playing Panama.
Right.
Because that's and he shouldn't. But Michael Anthony was great because that's got to be tough. When you can play and he can sing, and you're going to always be third or fourth banana in a four-man band.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're still able to hold your ground. You have people love Michael Anthony, right?
Yep.
The jack bass, and he could play, and he knew his spot, and he's always been a class act. If you know your Van Halen history, the Van Halen brothers kind of treated Michael Anthony like shit. He's always done a great job of kind of like being above all that stuff, always being a gentleman. Nothing but respect for Michael Anthony.
Yeah. And I mean, Justin, as a drummer, what are your thoughts on Alex Van Halen?
Well, yeah, oftentimes I found that the best Alex does is live. I always felt like the studio kind of held him back. Even when he did like Hot for Teacher, that little drum thing at the first, when he does that live, if you hear the recordings of that live, he does so much better. And I just feel like the studio kind of confined him in his work. And but when you hear him live, it's just another level of.
He's an animal live.
Yeah.
My only regret is that during the 5150, my favorite Van Halen album was 5150, and during the 5150 years, he was playing those Simmons drums, and I wish he wouldn't have gone down that road just for a little bit, because it's a different kind of sound.
Uh-huh.
But he's just a beast. Alex is just the heaviest foot in rock and roll.
Well, I'm sure everyone, again, when Eddie came out on the 1984 album, doing all the keyboard business and all that, everyone said, "Oh man," but he made it work.
That Alex is doing on All Weight. Right?
Yeah.
Eddie's doing keyboards and he's not really doing a guitar thing on All Weight, but Alex's drums are just making that song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's for sure. That's when I was learning drums. That's the one I had the headphones on and had the cassette player going and just playing to that over and over and over to learn that. And for sure, I'll Wait is again, and it's not a big crashing solos, it's not, but it's just how he works that on the drums is actually tremendous, and it has this idea of sounding raw, like Alex sounded raw on that, but yet he's surrounded by all this synthesizers and overdubbing and all that kind of stuff, but he still comes through raw like that. So I thought that was pretty amazing.
And that's when they had gotten the 5150 studio at that point that Eddie had built. And
yeah.
So they kind of had a lot of time to play around with that whole wall of sound thing. So amazing.
And I still think that with Memphis, you've got to connect with our friend Alan Wolf. He's right there.
Alan down in South Haven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look, you may have to add an extra category of wrestling to the spinning the wheel. But Alan, I mean, he knows his stuff. I told him, he told me, he said, man, that episode you guys did with JP with the smoke break kid, he goes, I wish I could have been in on that because Al, I mean, he knows his shit, right? And so I told him, I said, man, when we do a post SummerSlam, we'll have to just get all you wrestling guys and we'll give it to it because that will be probably the least bit of cigar talk we ever do.
Oh yeah, because August 1st and 2nd is fast approaching.
SummerSlam, Minnesota. I went to SummerSlam 4 years ago when it was in Nashville. So my son and I were there when Brock brought the tractor out and jacked the ring up.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
When he jacks the ring up, my son's like 6'8". It's kind of hard to miss. He's like 5 feet behind Corey Graves when this ring goes up.
Oh wow!
It had kind of cleared out a little bit on the floor by that time. And so Kid Rock gave my kid his chair. So my kid has the SummerSlam chair at the house.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
So that was the whole week. We went to Ric Flair's last match that weekend. We snuck backstage and met Ric Flair's daughter and Conrad Thompson. And I'm taking a pee break with John Moxley. He's pee shy like I am. True story. Hysterical. Moxley's a good dude. But I love that stuff. So I have to ask you. I'm asking my own little Rushmore here.
Okay.
Give me your top. Give me one. Give me three. Give me like no more than three, less than one. Give me your favorite wrestling matches of all time.
Ooh. Okay. So, Justin, do you want to go first or do you want me to?
Oh, I can.
Okay. Yeah. I'll let you go while I kind of think about it.
All right. So probably, one or two come to mind, but the Charlotte Flair versus Rhea for the Women's World Championship a few years ago.
Okay.
That was an absolute classic. I mean, you knew it was a classic by watching it, and I would say, and this is kind of a gimme, but when you watched Shawn Michaels beat Ric Flair, and the best part of that to me was when Shawn Michaels left the ring, you would have thought he lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was just, you could just tell. And so those are the first two that really come to mind. So go ahead, Sean.
Well, obviously Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3. That just because that was iconic, because what was that, 87. So here I am, a 10-year-old kid. That was the world to me, right? And I had a friend that had a pirate box, so I was able to go over to his house and watch it, right? Because that was like the most anticipation, right? And to see Hogan pick up the Giant was just like, I just got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
My second one's got to be Stone Cold Shawn Michaels when Stone Cold won his first belt, because me and Justin were there. I ripped my shirt off like I was Hulk Hogan. See, I got a thing with taking my shirt off now. Sorry about that, dude. But and then I was going to say Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. Justin kind of took that one. So I'm going to say one that was just inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, and it goes back to my boys, but Stone Cold and Bret Hart.
Yeah.
That was a great match. And I know that Stone Cold and Undertaker had some great matches, and I know The Rock had some great matches. The Rock and Hulk Hogan was a great match when he was Hollywood Hogan, but he was kind of like, he kind of was back in the red and yellow, but he still kind of had the black stubble. He was kind of in Hogan limbo, as I like to call it. There's so many, but I would say those are probably, just for me, just instant feeling of why I love wrestling. So how about you?
So I think probably my earliest favorite is probably Flair and Steamboat 3.
Great matches. Yeah.
It was just the urgency of it was great. It was great. It was Flair at the top of his game, and Steamboat was the champion going in, so everybody knew he was going to lose, but it was what it was. I love. Oddly enough, my two favorites are probably both have the Undertaker in them, and one might surprise you. Undertaker and Brock Lesnar in the Hell in a Cell the first time.
Okay.
In like 2002, which I believe was in Little Rock. Or North Little Rock.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, Undertaker had the cast on.
Uh-huh.
And this is what I loved about wrestling and this is why I sometimes struggle with wrestling now, is that, I'm a big dude. I'm 6'3", I'm 245. Like, I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
And I, even as a kid, had a hard time seeing somebody who was 5'9", $160. Like, there's a reason why I gravitate towards these guys who are just monsters, because my neighbor is 5'8", 160. But these guys are just bigger than life. And watching Undertaker and Brock Lesnar beat the absolute piss out of each other, and blood down, and Taker's on Brock's top of the cage, and just I love that match. It was brutal. And then probably my favorite probably has to be Taker and Triple H Hell in a Cell with Shawn as the special referee.
That's a great match.
Oh my gosh!
It was just so well put together. Everything about it, from the false finish to the all that stuff, was absolutely cinema. It was cinema.
Yeah, we could say Mankind and Undertaker Hell in a Cell. That was a great match. But one I being Mid-South boys in Wichita, Jake the Snake and Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah.
That one where Ravishing Rick Rude came out with Jake's wife on the front of his trunks. That was a tremendous. Even the King of the Ring with Jake the Snake and Stone Cold when Austin 316 was born.
It was because of Rick Rude I knew what a harlot was.
Yeah.
You couldn't curse back then, right? So he calls Jake's wife she's a harlot.
Yeah.
And I remember asking my mom, like, what's a harlot? She was like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. That was my Jay Furman impression. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I mean, Brutus the Barber Keep Beefcake. I was a big Coco Beware fan growing up. You know, him and Frankie, and
Coco Beware
Junkyard Dog.
He lives like 3 blocks from me. Coco Beware does.
Oh wow,
Is that right?
Memphis, yeah.
Well, we need to get connected with that for sure.
Oh man.
I'd be remiss if I didn't point out. I do my company that I am the president of, and we do a lot of work with Memphis wrestling. So I'll give a shout out to my boy Dustin Starr down there in Memphis. I get to go to their stuff. I'm friends with a lot of their guys. Dustin Starr became a friend of mine. We met I was doing wrestling trivia.
Okay.
And so me and my son, who was 10 at the time, dressed up in like Easter Bunny outfits and went to wrestling trivia. And my son talked a tremendous amount of shit to adults, which was amazing. I love it. And we became buddies, and he has Memphis wrestling down there. He does work with Jerry Lawler, all the usual Memphis
There you go.
superstars, and we do like a 4th of July hot dog eating contest for our company, and he puts somebody through a table, and I love his guys down there. So Memphis Wrestling, check it out. It's on YouTube. It's all that kind of stuff. Memphis Wrestling is pretty cool. Very old school.
Jason that works next door at Fogue, he's got me into the old Lucha Underground episodes, like was he Penta then on Lucha Underdoor, Justin? Do you remember?
That I don't know.
But like there was a young Dominique or Rey Mysterio was on there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great. Like it just kind of feels like you're in like an old grungy warehouse, and I love this episode, man, because we're kind of touching all the bases here. We got some cigar talk for our cigar people, and then we're like our fans at Brews and Spins. He loves the music talk. You know, he's a big vinyl guy, and so I just love that we're kind of hitting all the hot topics here on this episode, Justin.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you like the Lucha Underground, there's a great match with Penta and Chelsea Green.
Oh wow,
that's right. She was on Lucha.
He beats the absolute piss out of her. All the respect in the world for Chelsea Green, because that match, dude, she can go.
Yeah,
it was a great match.
And I love her and Matt Cardona, their chemistry and what they put on social media and stuff. And again, I love Matt. You got to come on Smokin Sounds. I mean, he just posted today. He was smoking a My Father cigar, you know, and it's always cool to see these guys. And you're like, dude, you're smoking a cigar that I've smoked before, right?
Come on, Cardona, make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's meant to be, right?
Chelsea's going to be on Raw tonight.
Okay.
By the way.
There you go. Well, Chelsea's, like I said, same thing as Cody Rhodes. I love the fact that and I'm a nerd for it in a Mark sense, and I'm a nerd for it in a non-Mark sense. I love the fact that they love the business.
Yes.
Like he has all those wrestling figures, and he's unapologetic. Like he's a complete and total nerd for it. He lives it. He loves it. It's his thing. If you ask me about my profession, I could talk to you about it for 100 years in a row. I live it. I love it. I wear the shirt even when I don't have to.
Right.
You know, I love it, and it's a big part of my life. So I just dig when people are passionate about something. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because Matt and Chelsea had a video the other day. They were in Target, and they found her figure when she was dressed like, was it Mick Foley or Mankind?
Yeah,
one of the two, where they had like the flannel on and stuff. And you could tell that she was like genuinely like happy to see that out in the wild.
She'd never seen one in the wild before.
Right, yeah.
That was really cool. And it's just like, how cool would that be to walk into a store and see your action figure? Sure, she knows they're made. She gets the checks for them.
Right.
But when you go into Target and there's you,
yeah,
I got to imagine it's like hearing yourself on the radio. I mean,
yeah.
That stuff's got to be just the best feeling in the world. So I love it.
And listen, Target, we need to talk real quick. You guys have brought back the LJN Superstars. I need the Stone Cold Steve Austin. I want the black card just because when you were a kid, finding the black card Hulk Hogan with the white Hulkamania shirt on was like the holy grail of toys. I need the Stone Cold black card, so if you're listening, I know that you are, send it to 1561. No, I better not give out my address here.
Oh my!
I've given that thing out enough.
All kinds of hate mail.
I'll get that anyway. But no, I love that they've kind of brought back the big LJN figures from when I was a kid, and it just again it ties back.
Those are very hard to wrestle with.
They were, but we didn't know any different as a kid, right?
So, you know what I loved as a kid was the thumb wrestlers. WWE.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because they were very pliable, and you could do little matches with them.
Yeah.
It was great.
So I still have the Big John Stud thumb wrestler,
Okay.
and I think I have the Iron Sheik jabroni.
Okay, you want to know what it would be a great podcast? If you ever listen to Undertaker's podcast or Kevin Nash's podcast, when they do stories where they do their little Sheik impression,
Oh yes.
I would listen to hours and hours of that Hey, Bubba, come give me a little something for the powder. I would listen to that all day long. When Taker's telling the story about the window being open and Iron Sheik's doing squats on the, hey, Bubba, close the window, Bubba.
Yeah.
I lose it every single time. That would be the greatest podcast ever.
And the Undertaker has a great podcast. There was one with...
He did.
He did, yeah.
He did.
Him and Stone Cold were on there. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
But, just kind of, Justin, before I kind of flip things over to you, to not to bogart the mic for a minute, but when we were at PCA, Drew was sitting down with different cigar brand owners and stuff. And if you are on their YouTube channel, don't kid yourself. You've got to watch the episode with Pete Johnson from Tatawahe and John Huber from Crowned Heads. They're old friends. They've been friends forever. And, Drew didn't even hardly have to say anything. They just kind of took it and ran. But if you want to kind of hear a long history of Crowned Heads and Tatawahe and my father, the Pepin and Jaime and all that, definitely check that out, because that is I found myself watching to the day and I was like, I didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
So what you got over there, Pipe Yoda?
I just want to say,
Go ahead.
Real quick. One of the things that JP said on that show that really got me was he was talking about being a PCA. And he was talking about all the different brands and wanting to seek them out, wanting to talk to them, wanting to engage with them. I love that, because so often we can get in our own silos of brands or our own whatever, and I see people in my office do that, and I'm just like, no, that other company does amazing shit.
Yeah.
I'd love to spend 2 days with that guy just picking his brain. And when people are open like that, when he was talking about that, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Well, you're right at home then in the cigar community, because you wouldn't even know these guys. They help out one another, and of course, there's been examples of, like, there's been fires that that have damaged, like, barns and stuff like that, and other companies will come in and help them out. So, okay, you can roll your stuff with us until you get your stuff built back up and all that kind of stuff. So definitely. So I wanted to also just quickly mention, so one of the other things we're big fans of is Grinds pouches. And so they're non-tobacco, non-nicotine pouches. Now they have a new one. I just saw it on Facebook today for the first time. So this is sort of breaking news, I guess. But
we need a breaking news button.
Yeah, or something. But well,
work.
Okay. But
we interrupt this broadcast for breaking news.
That's right.
They have a lemon lime electrolyte pouch now. Again, no tobacco, no nicotine, but you put the pouch in your lip and just go about your day. And normally they of course they do coffee. They do my favorite, and I haven't seen it yet, Grinds, Black Ops Wintergreen, Make It Happen. So. But they do a lemon lime electrolyte pouch. So, like, if you're out there sweating and working out or whatever, this will replenish the electrolytes through this pouch. And so I'm very anxious to try it. Honestly, when I hear lemon lime and electrolytes, aka salt, I'm immediately thinking margarita.
Okay.
But I don't say it's margarita flavor. But guys, if you're out looking at Grinds, keep an eye out for lemon lime electrolyte pouches.
And listen, Maddox, my son just started playing football, and as soon as Justin said that, my first thought was a bunch of these like 12 and 13-year-olds trying to throw an upper decky in, acting like they're somebody with a little lip pillow in there.
They all did it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I remember the first time my dad let me dip skull. I'll never forget that feeling, man. I've never been so nick sick in my life. I could have been the Incredible Hulk. I was so green. I didn't know you're supposed to spit that shit out.
Copenhagen was my gateway when I was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think I did it twice, and all my buddies were doing it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, pack a lip in there, and I remember the first time thinking, this is the most disgusting thing ever in my life. And then, I didn't know you're supposed to spit it. I was swallowing. I was, oh my God. And I did it again just to make sure I would never do it again.
Yeah.
So
you had to realize you were dumb twice.
So exactly. So these things now that come out, like I give my son a bunch of shit because he calls me and says, I'm on the boat this weekend. I said, okay, I'm drinking Surfsides and whatever. And of course that Midwestern part of me is like, we can't have a beer like a real man. But I'm like, you know what? I would have loved to have this stuff when I was younger.
Right.
Grinds, pouches, and things like that. So God bless. Knock them out.
See, because I played baseball with some older boys, and they all dipped skull.
Yep.
So after that, I was in the outfield. My dad finally let me. I threw some skull in, and we were going camping after the game, and it was like hour and a half car ride, and I was sick I fell out of the car, rolled into a tent, and I stayed there for 2 days listening to Beastie Boys' License to Ill and thinking, God, somebody turn this off. It's making me even more sick.
Yeah.
But so much so, that's when I discovered Smoky Mountain Chew.
Okay.
Because I figured I could put my Smoky Mountain Chew in a Skull can, and people would not know the difference.
I remember thinking like that Bandits would have been like the I could have handled that.
I don't know, man.
All my friends were like, you can't have Bandits, and they'll call me names for it and all
right.
that stuff. So I never did it. So when the Grinds thing came up, and my kid bought the other one. It's like Grinds. It's like I don't know what it is. But I was like, is that really a thing? And he's like, yeah. There's no stigma anymore.
Yeah,
so
like
I'm
the Zen nicotine pouches and all this.
Yeah.
But we have another company that has just been great to us. They're Zemo. Now, they do make nicotine pouches, but you can also get them. And actually, Sam, just seeing him reminded me, because he said that a lot of these caffeine makes him, increases his anxiety and all this stuff. So what I love about Zemo is they actually make some pouches, and they're just flavored. So you can get like mango or blueberry or grape and coffee or all these different, and they pair great with cigars. That's why we kind of, it's funny because Grinds is like, they want to be kind of the anti-nicotine product, and here we are. We're always preaching about how great they are with nicotine products.
Yeah, we love them.
Is like 80 milligrams caffeine. Is that
well,
right?
Some of them, they have like the white pouches that go in the upper deck. They have like the coffee pouches that are thicker, kind of go in the bottom deck there.
Yeah.
And you can get all kinds of flavors. Go to getgrinds.com and get see what flavors that. But right now, if you make a purchase from them, you get a free can of that lemon lime electrolyte that I was talking about. And I guarantee you'll find a flavor you like. There's like whiskey and cola, which is real good. There's Kentucky bourbon, which is real good. And but I will say this, because I do dip snuff on a regular basis. When they come out with the Black Ops Wintergreen, again, no tobacco, no nicotine, but Black Ops Wintergreen, that's the one you should pick up.
Yeah, it is good. It is a good one.
Because and they even make 100 milligram caffeine. It's called Red Eye Espresso.
Yep.
It tastes like a real strong cup of coffee.
That's the one I gave Robert 13 Knives at the PCA.
Yeah.
He was talking about how much he loves coffee, and I said, have you ever tried one of these? He said, no. He's like, oh, man, this is great. So we don't just preach it. We use it, and we turn others onto it. So, all right, Justin, it's that time. Let's go around the room. What have we missed?
Well, I tell you, again, I'm looking for to watch Raw this evening, and just keeping up on the road to SummerSlam for sure. And again, thanks to Paige Turner for hooking us up. She saw that cigar infuser thing on Amazon. So you guys can,
I showed Matt that. I showed it to him.
Absolutely.
So just want to thank you for that. And by the way, down the road, so Paige and one of her cohorts that they're going to come on and do some live music for us.
It's about time we had some more live music on the podcast.
They are.
We need to get Andrew Vincent on too.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just be kind of looking for that. And of course, we've got the big 4th of July weekend coming up. Gonna
be rowdy and batty,
and gonna be smoking those Tatanka cigars that we got there.
Independence 250.
That's right,
Thanks to Kenny and all them. They still post the videos that we shot at PCA with them. So the great company. A lot of people ordering the 5-packs, loving the Tatanka cigars.
So, all right, Sean, what you got, bro?
I'm going to let Matt go. Matt, what did we miss? And then let's tell people where they can find Spinning the Wheel and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And talk about how, did you have a Shiner Bock with that?
I did.
Yeah, talk about how that pairing was with that cigar. Justin forgot he forgot to ask that.
Pairing was fantastic. We talked about whiskey originally, and I realized I'm not bringing booze in here, but what I missed was I need a glass of whiskey with this. It's been a perfect pairing, but it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but never too early.
Yeah, I agree.
So what do we miss? Nothing. It was a great conversation. As far as your raw, I'm looking for the reclamation of Obafemi, because they're
1-1.
They're clearly building that for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And you watch. What'll happen is that what you saw at Mania was the precursor. Obafemi will destroy Brock. It'll be a much better match than it was the first time. He will win. He will win convincingly, and Brock will take the boots off and give the boots to Obafemi.
Wow. Okay, you heard it here first, folks.
So you think he's done after Oba beats him, or?
Here's the deal, and I love Brock for a bunch of reasons, but Brock is my age, and it's hard to maintain that. And he's talked about with his kids, and he's very much a different guy to listen to in interviews and all that stuff in the last year or so. So he did a podcast with the hockey guys, Spittin' Chicklets. Great podcast where he was very much like different than you've ever heard him before. So I think he's probably done and/or phasing out. It's the perfect way to. I don't want this Gunther retiring him crap. I don't want that.
Oh man,
you took the words right out of my mouth, Justin.
I don't want that.
So all right, so tell everybody where they can find you and all that kind of stuff.
Spinning the Wheel. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and as luck would have it, we're almost done. So we're wrapping the podcast. I say we're. It's just me. I'm wrapping the podcast up at the end of this month. We've done 3 years. It's been an absolute blast. And one of the things I was really cognizant of was, leave the party 10 minutes early before you're there an hour late.
Yeah.
And I did not want this podcast or the work because it's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
The social media part of it, the recording part of it, the editing.
Yes.
I don't do a whole lot of editing.
Neither do we.
Neither do we.
Zero.
All the stuff that goes into that can be a lot. And trying to find guests and trying to pester people and it can be a lot. And I realized about a year ago, okay, this is kind of where I want to end. I knew I wanted to get there, and I've kind of worked my way there now. I've got 1 or 2 more episodes to record, but it's kind of a good finale to it. It's a good way to kind of put a bow on it because I didn't want it to become a thing where the subject matter became something I didn't want to hear anymore.
Yeah.
And if I get to the point where I'm skipping George Michael that I've listened to my whole life because I talked about it for 100 episodes of podcast. So I knew there had to be a shelf life to it.
So what are your plans for the future then?
After you tie a ribbon on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do another podcast. It's a lot of work.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I'm going to do that. I honestly don't know. I didn't have any preconceptions when I started the podcast in the first place, so kind of the same way now. Whatever happens.
So guys, get on there. Now, where'd you say you can find the podcast?
Spinning the Wheel. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon. It's on every podcast provider.
So you George Michael fans, get on there and listen to those episodes.
Yep.
You say you have about 100 of them.
118, 20, but
wow.
120.
Okay, so if you're a George Michael fan, you need to get on and hear those episodes now and get caught up with Matt here and do all that because all good things come to an end. But hopefully we can see you somewhere around the social media, whatever, and certainly if you're ever back in town here, sit down with us.
You're always welcome on Smokin Sounds.
Yeah,
sir.
So
something tells me though you're going to get the itch to do something else.
Yeah,
might be a Memphis wrestling podcast in the future.
I don't know. I've thought like whatever I do the next thing, and I've thought about that. It would be very niche, and it would be sort of like a short-term thing. Like I'm going to do 10 episodes about this. Whatever it may be, and try to. One of the things I love is like Dave Holmes from MTV.
Right. Yeah.
He does shows like that. He'll do like a 10 episode where he does a lot of research and a lot of research, and he'll really get involved in it. And it's 10 great episodes, and then you just kind of leave it.
Right.
I could see myself doing something like that, but I just don't know for sure. It's
gotcha.
Could be Memphis Wrestling Kings with Matt and Howlin' with Big Al.
Yeah, there you go.
Just saying, that's a 10 episode deal. I'm sorry, brother Al. I'm signing you up for stuff you may not be wanting to be signed up for. But
podcast will be called Monday nights at 8:00 at the Mid-South Coliseum.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that right there,
spawned
man.
an idea. So,
all right. So, Sean, what you got, bro?
Well, I just want to thank you so much for one, just being great to connect with and becoming a friend and taking the time out being here in Tulsa and jumping on with us. That's we always love being able to connect with people, especially that we kind of have the same interest and same common goals in life and things like that. It's always great to meet people that are great people, be able to meet them in person. So thank you for that. So I want to say, I was telling Justin, there's a website. It's called Million Podcasts, and from what I understand is that they just kind of rank all the podcasts and stuff. And long and behold, they have a top 50 list of Cigar Podcast, and they were gracious enough to rank your boys as the number 11 greatest cigar podcast.
Baby.
We're right behind our good friends at Eat, Drink, Smokes with Tony
Katz.
And everyone's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. So that was kind of cool to come across. The other thing is we're probably going to be maybe week and a half before we have another episode. I've got a 22-day stretch of work, and you know how it is, man, trying to juggle a family and a podcast, it's kind of difficult. So that's why we were so awesome to be able to have this opportunity to record with you. Not that we're taking a huge hiatus, but we just as everyone's kind of gotten used to us having kind of more of a routine, we kind of, we got to keep them on their toes and let them know that, sometimes you do have to take a break doing this. And that's, again, a gratitude to the people that listen as they're gracious enough to tune back in when we do have to take a small hiatus or whatever it is. So
when I first started, I did not think that somebody had asked me like, "Oh, is there seasons?" And I said, "No, it's a podcast. You just go."
Yeah.
Just go. And then I took some breaks, and I realized that really does recharge quite a bit.
It does. Yeah.
You get to the end of a stretch, and I usually take a break in the summertime. And boy, those last couple episodes, I was trying to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
So. And then when I come back in the fall, I was usually pretty energized. So it definitely helps because you just have to take a minute and enjoy your family, like you said.
Yeah.
There's work that comes along that, but it's when you have an outlet for your passion, it's the coolest thing.
It is, yeah, and it's not that it ever stops being fun, but yeah, you're right. It's social media, booking guests, and we're kind of in a great position where the PCA was such a great event for us. Everybody wants to come on Smokin Sounds, and we want to have everybody on. And it's like trying to jockey for position of where do you put this person in. And we've got some people like Bo from the Pipe and Tamper podcast. We've wanted to have him on to talk about pipes and wrestling, and we're going to do that. We're just going to have to take about a week break just so we can get kind of caught up here. But I think that's about it, Justin.
I think so, man. I think we can drop the leg on this episode.
A little sweet chin music, as the Smoke Break kid said.
That's right.
Up the band. Here we go.
That's right. I wish I knew like a Big Boss Man reference. We'll lock this one up. That one doesn't play as well as
Surfing Hard Time? I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard times,
It's
baby.
hard times.
So, my belly's gotten a little big and my hiney's gotten a little bigger. So, there's always only one way to exit the way we didn't enter. This is our old intro music. That's what I was trying to get to. So, I guess we'll tie a ribbon on this one, Justin.
Okay.
That's a wrap on this episode of Smokin Sounds, the second best cigar podcast. Listen, everything you need is at smokinsoundspod.com, powered by Dirty Birch Media. Make sure you go over there and subscribe, send us an email so you never miss a beat.
Or a draw.
Hey, leave us a 5-star review. It helps others find the podcast. So until next time, keep those cigars lit.
Those pipes packed. And the sounds smoking.
Yay!